Today's podcast is brought to you by nobody, because we don't have any sponsors.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Our Wives or Friends. Your hosts, Tyler and Eric, back at it again. And joining us today is an old friend of ours, Skyler. Skyler, you want to introduce yourself? Tell everyone about maybe being a dad or your kids or what makes you a dad.
How's it going, guys? So I've known Tyler and Eric for a really long time, and I mean, you guys just said, what makes you a dad, and yeah, I'm also a dad. Tyler and Eric have younger kids, and that's lucky for them because all my kids are a lot older. And talked about what makes a dad and stuff like that. I will tell you that there's not much enjoyment that comes from being a dad with older children. So I'm glad you guys still have younger kids because the hell that you guys are going to experience later on is definitely coming. It's coming for you.
Are you trying to say enjoy it while it lasts?
Yeah, no. Yeah, the younger days, definitely enjoy that.
I appreciate the look ahead.
A future look into the crystal ball.
Yeah.
Well, the reason that we brought you along today is it's Father's Day, and Father's Day is coming up and this week. So there you go, Eric.
Oh yeah, that's the sweet sound of Father's Day right there.
I like it.
Nice cool Coors latte.
That's all we really want on Father's Day, right? Just a kid-free home and a beer.
I mean, that
Yeah.
doesn't sound bad, Skyler. What's your ideal version of Father's Day look like for you?
It's weird because you guys said that that's your ideal thing of the beer drinking. I'd prefer my house all by myself, and then the beer, that pop you just did, I'd prefer that by myself and no one home at all. At all. In fact, not seeing my kids would probably be the better.
Well, Father's Day. So let's just take it back to the beginning of like the first Father's Day. I know for me it was like I couldn't grasp it yet because my daughter was still so young that I'm just I wasn't able to enjoy it. I feel like every dad that's their first Father's Day is the same way because you're too worried about. I'm not worried about like what I'm getting or what I'm barbecuing or my wife's gonna get me something cool or girlfriend or whatever. But no, that was my experience.
I do say the first Father's Day, excuse me, was a little weird. You spend your life celebrating Father's Day with your father, then you celebrate your first one. It's like, oh shoot, this is my day.
I mean, you guys keep talking like this first Father's Day thing again. You guys are really into it with your younger children. I don't really remember my first Father's Day. My youngest stepson, he's 8, and sure enough, my oldest stepdaughter, 14, or no, 15. Sorry, she's 15. And my own son, he's 12. When you guys talk about these first Father's Days, they're a rough. It's a rough estimate to go back to me.
It's been a while since your first one.
Yeah, no, they don't ever feel the same again. I would imagine I probably have that same mentality you guys do, but
What's it like having to share a Father's Day with two other kids?
to share a Father's Day, it's not that bad because a lot of the times their father isn't in the picture, so that's me. That's where I step in.
Eric, what do you doing this Father's Day?
No, I don't have any plans set in stone. Probably just spending time with her family, and splitting the day with my family. Kind of how we usually do our holidays is do half the day with her family and half the day with my family. How about you guys?
Yeah, we're pretty much probably gonna do the same. Do the just normal family stuff, and I'll probably wake up in the morning and have some kind of surprise waiting for me on the couch or poopy diaper or something waiting for me.
I was gonna say I'll definitely have some poopy diapers waiting for me.
I guess because you have 3.
Yeah, I don't have any diapers. There might be a clogged toilet, like a full grown man shit from one of the children. But yeah, None of that. None of that stuff. It's just a normal wake up day for me. That's pretty much it. Oh, and then you guys actually just talked about the splitting of families and going and visiting all your family. Be honest, guys, when you guys are this deep, all that family stuff gets kind of kicked aside, and people actually come to you, and they come to your house. That's kind of how that goes. If they can't make it, I mean, piss on them.
Did you have the most interesting inputs on things sometimes?
Oh, I have the most interesting bit again. Between you guys, I have the more experience here. So
I must say it's nice having Skyler out here to give us an insight for the older children and what we're looking forward to, and how things might escalate here in the future.
you're not gonna have a good time.
Well, I know we kind of jumped ahead a little bit, but maybe we should talk about how we know Skyler,
Yeah, that's
how we all met.
I don't think you guys should, but yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get into that.
Because I know you two met before we met. I knew Eric before I knew you.
Oh no, yeah, no, I knew Eric going way back, long before high school stuff like that.
Yeah.
We went way back.
You could look at, if you go back to our episode 1 where me and Tyler spoke about meeting in a tackle football youth program. It's actually how me and Skyler met, but the year before.
Yes.
Put it lightly.
We just say it lightly.
Lightly.
Skyler was our field goal specialist on that.
We were not
He
going to
was
talk
the
about the
kicker.
field goal. No, I'm going to talk about being field goal specialist.
You were a field goal specialist. I've heard the stories. You made one?
Yeah, maybe
Field goal?
one. Special teams one.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe our season, we were pretty good that season. We made the playoffs. I believe our season ended with Skyler kicking the long snapper.
If you have to,
the ball.
if you have to chime into it, I was put on a special teams because the coach originally said, "Hey, you're a soccer player. I'd imagine you can kick a field goal through some arcs." What I didn't know is that there's a difference in the size of footballs from soccer balls, whatever. After I missed my first couple games of field goals, I don't know why the coach kept putting me in. I kept shanking field goals left and right, and yet he would scream at me and chase me around the field. I don't understand why he would keep doing that, but he did. He was very, he was a good guy. When I say he was a good guy, he wasn't that good of a guy. He was also a pastor, and he was kind of an ass bag.
And then you and I, Skyler, we didn't meet. Well, we had met a bunch of times at school in the sandwich line, like freshman year of high school. And you recall these moments, but I don't remember these moments. And then we just kind of all became like a group of friends at some point.
We did. We had an assortment of friends back in high school. I mean, you were included, Eric. But we had a close knit group of friends. We all kind of gathered at random. I had a lot of guys I grew up with, and then again, you became part of it. Eric became part of it. We all kind of sorted around each other.
And I would say it was kind of like one of those groups that it was almost like out of a movie, where we were all like together at all times, always texting each other, calling each other, "Hey, what are we doing tonight?" Going to each other's houses after school, playing sports together or whatever.
Yeah, if you had to pick every characteristic from the Breakfast Club, that's kind of what we became. We were small. We were like a small breakfast club.
It was like a Justice League but for friends, because each person had their own talent, their own specialty.
Everyone definitely brought something to the table in their own special way.
Whether it be bad or good.
Mostly bad.
Mostly bad.
It was mostly bad.
Yeah.
There's a few moments of brilliance,
Oh, we were together. We were smart, but it was smart in a dumb way.
Very much so.
I feel like generally our high school, there's just wasn't a whole lot of people didn't get along. I think everyone just kind of blended together and different friends. There's different friends group definitely, but it all kind of come together and hang out, and it was no big deal really.
Well, we were like that group that hung out with everybody. It didn't matter what clique or whatever. We were all kind of morphed into. We're friends with every clique. kind of deal.
Fair enough. I'd say that was a good outlook on it. That we were friends with quite a few different people.
Yeah. Where it didn't really matter if like, oh, you guys are the jocks or popular kids or nerds or whatever, like the computer geeks, or it was
Like a fine line mid team.
I mean, we were the group that we would all go play football for the high school, and then we would all go play like Dungeons and Dragons after, while drinking.
I would say I think everyone eventually rallied around maybe partying.
Yeah, that was a big rally around was the partying scene.
Yeah, that was a big.
Again, you're gonna talk about like I mean, if you were to talk like the A team, you know, you're gonna talk about all the different people and their specialties. We all had our specialties. We were a specialty team, and that's what that party. You know, you would have that party back in the day and invite people, whatever, but you would have every different bunch of people at one individual party.
Yeah, it was a blend, for sure.
I must say that Skyler is the only person that I've met who has been hit by a car while streaking.
And that came up pretty abruptly, Eric. Thank you.
I don't even think that was the first. Like, you've been hit by a car multiple times and drugged by a car.
The debauchery, and whether it be high school or even a little bit after, it was all there. I lived a very promiscuous life. It was a lot of the crazy times, and yeah, I would definitely say that you two individually, you would definitely know quite a bit about my past, and unless Eric brings it up all crazy like he just did at random, we weren't even on that point about me being hit by a car.
Do I recall that you've peed into a girl's mouth?
Wow. That's what we're gonna go through. My goodness. Yeah,
This became like the investigation of Skyler.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, that actually did happen. Random party. We have a lot of things. You know, we're growing up. We're at this point, I guess we're kids. You know,
we are absolutely children.
We are in our 30s now. At this point, I mean, granted, I guess some people don't take that as a big age, but yeah, no, we were a lot younger. So, a lot of things that happen. When you go back then, we've all done stupid things, and yeah, in a girl's mouth was one of them, and that did actually happen at one point.
Well, we had this party house that we used to utilize a lot, and it was one of those where people showed up at least every weekend, whether there was a party or not. And it was across town, not even nowhere near where any of us lived or went to school at or anything.
Yeah, it was a good 20-minute, 30-minute drive from where we all lived, complete other side of town. So
I remember we'd all get phone calls of, "Hey, there's a bunch of people over here. You guys throwing a party?" "No." "Well, I guess we are now." And we'd all just show up, and
some of them just escalated like that. Us hanging out over there, then one by one, people would kind of show up or file in. Next thing you know, half the high school class is there.
Yeah,
but I think one of my favorite stories about that house was there's one time where I think we were all about 16 years old, and I think Skyler was there. We were all sitting out on this, fence outside, and we're all drinking a couple beers. Probably about 6 of us out there drinking beers, like, no problem. And a cop rolls by.
Do you remember this?
And we're just like, in the mind, when we see the cop coming, we're like, oh crap, we're in trouble here.
When Eric said 16, he meant we were 21 years old. I'm just kidding. Maybe he didn't.
No, we were
close to it.
We were definitely 16.
Is this the time when the cop drove by and we all thought we were busted?
Yeah, we all thought we were busted. We were all sitting there drinking beers on the fence out there. The cop just gives us a little friendly wave when he's driving by,
and then he goes across the street rolling code and busts up some other party.
Yeah, I believe it was a quinceañera.
Yeah, quinceañera.
It actually makes me wonder, like, what he thought when he looked at us on the fence. At that age of 16, did we look like a bunch of prepubescent teens, like with just as much facial hair as a full-grown man? We could pull it off.
It had to be obvious. It was almost like a super bad moment. Like,
I don't want to be this person, but I think it was because the house was on a bad side of town.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was.
And we may have looked a little more innocent than most of the people walking around that side of town.
Fair enough.
He definitely gave us the friendly neighborhood wave when we drove by, though.
Is this also the same night that Skyler, that you donned the Mexican wrestling mask and went across the street?
Yeah, that was the sound of another beer opening. Oh yes, yeah.
You gotta prepare yourself to tell this story, or what?
No, not really. I mean, you guys are kind of
The
assholes.
Indiana Jones fedora.
You guys are kind of assholes, so I figured this was all going to come at this point. But no, I don't have to prepare myself because yes, again, we made a lot of mistakes as younger gentlemen, and maybe I did put on a luchador mask at one point, and maybe I did go streaking through a quinceanera, which I did not know was turning of a 15-year-old woman.
I can't even, dude.
So I didn't know that. Maybe I was drunk. Maybe I was high. There was a lot of things that came about at that time. Again, you said we were all sitting in front of the house as a 16-year-old man. Wait, I was 16-year-old of kids. And,
you were high on life, right?
No, I was not. This is way before this legalization bullshit. So, on multiple things at that time. But hey. We all do. We all do crazy things.
As I recall,
yeah, Tyler.
I had watched the movie Old School far too many times at one point, and Will Ferrell inspired me.
Famous "Let's Go Streaking."
Yes. Oh yeah. I wanted to do that all the time, and I did actually do that multitude of times growing up, and it was probably a mistake. Only because now when I see people as an older man. Some people still talk about my genitalia in multiple fashions that I don't really appreciate. So I appreciate not being brought up, in front of whoever I'm with, and it's not fun. So
or across the live audience where I don't know internationally where people are listening.
And that's fine. I don't care.
Hey man, stories have been told the countless times to countless people.
You say international, but how much different is that from our own town? Our own town is just a cesspool of talk.
It is a very toxic town.
I would second that.
But
it's an understatement.
As I do recall, during your streaking extravaganza, you donned a luchador mask.
Yes.
Held a Indiana Jones fedora over your penis. Ran through the front door of a stranger's house. And then heard lots of screams. And then you ran out the backyard through the side gate.
I think what's worse is that I ran through that house at the time, and it's a blur to me at this point. But my sanctuary, my sanctuary over here, the hollow ground, was just a house across the street.
Yeah,
it wasn't too far. Wasn't too far to find me.
Yeah, because
like you just said, we had the bro wave from a HP or whatever, and here I was, and I came across the street, and it was hollow ground, so I was fine after that. And then I think we proceeded like any other normal day after many laughs and stupidity. But yeah, that happened.
Yeah, the house that we partied at was that house on the block that nobody messed with. So even if we did something really stupid, nobody came knocking.
Oh, we did.
And another thing I'll give Skyler credit, he's got some wheels, I don't know about now, but I know back in the day you could take off pretty quick there.
Yeah, you outran a herd of angry fathers.
Yeah. I would definitely say that the wheels, they're okay. They're okay these days.
They need a little grease or WD-40?
A little WD-40. I say WD-40 to a lot of things these days. My own kids are in track and field, and they do a lot of that. And so they tell me like to kiss their ass, that I'm not fucking special and I'm not fast. But you know what? If they take off in a dead sprint, I will damn well catch him. I can do that.
I would believe that. I mean, I've seen you take off streaking before, and in my mind, I was like, man, that guy, he can play good running back there. He can haul.
Well, I did play when we all did play ball together. I did play a solid corner for a while
in high school, right?
In high school, yeah. I played a pretty good caller, pretty good corner, pretty good receiver. Granted, I had my failing moments. There was definitely some failing moments there. Yeah, that was a good time. It definitely took me off what Eric brought up earlier was the special teams of our younger youth. I'm so happy they didn't put me that in later because I would suck ass.
Yeah, I remember. I specifically remember us making the playoffs that year. Like I said, we were actually pretty good that year, and I think Skyler had a game-winning field goal to excel us in the playoffs. Where we all knew Skyler hadn't had a good track record of making field goals that season. We all kind of
Yeah.
rallied around him, and
Again,
hey, we
again,
believe in you.
again, saying that I didn't have a good track record is almost an understatement. I had almost a no track record, and that I wish they would have took me out special teams. I didn't want to be the kicker.
Like
and-
1%.
Yeah, no, 1%. The crowd. It's kind of like when you're in a baseball game, catching a ball with a mitt. You're in the crowd. That was me with my field goals. I would shank them directly into the crowd. You get a football. You go home. You go home happy.
Yeah,
Oh.
see, I don't know why. There had to have been somebody on the team that was a better kicker.
There wasn't though. That was the sad thing. There was no person that had experience kicking. I mean,
Well, you obviously didn't either.
I didn't either. In
You
fact,
just-
my own what we would call a holder, the guy that would hold the football, but right before you punt it, most of the time would bail on me right before the kick would happen.
Hey, that plays a big part in it. I'm here to Skyler's defense. That I don't know. Maybe he kicked a few fingers though before that happened. I don't know. I can't.
I will say that I was a much better soccer player than I was any day of the week.
So let's maybe what was maybe your guys' favorite stories that you guys have, like whether it was us in high school or partying, or what's the one like that stands out that you always think about?
So one I was thinking, so I showed up tonight, and you guys, you said it's the Father's Day episode. One that stands out to me, it's the most prominent, is that I stare into Eric's old dark eyes, and I think to myself, Eric was there the night when my son had manifested. We had went to. So what happened was I was on a hiatus. I was, not having a good time. I went through, I guess you'd say, like almost like an emo stage where I'm sitting here listening to Guns N' Roses, Every Rose Has Thorn, and
And this was well after high school that you
Yes.
had your emo phase.
yes, yeah, very
Man,
much so.
you were
very
feeling
much
it then.
so. Yeah, oh yeah, you feel it much more. You don't have high school to jog your memory off. You're just sitting there like a twat. So there it happened.
British
So.
style?
So sure enough, Eric had, I had sure enough, had Eric. He came over to my house one day, and he was like, "Hey, man, like you're kind of in a funk, huh? Everybody's been telling me about this," and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's because I'd had a person I was with at the time, on and off person, all throughout high school, even after, bailed on me, done some other stuff. Anyway, long story short, Eric had told me, he said, "Hey, we're going to this party tonight." It was at a house that I had been to actually in the past, a house that had multiple roommates at the time, and he told me, he goes, "Going to this party." I said, "Oh man, okay, I've been to that house before." I go, "What's the catch?" He's like, "We need to get you fucked up because you're being an emo bitch." I was like, "All right, that's fine." And so we went to this party. Eric dragged me out of my own house. We went to this party. We had a good time, and my very last things with Eric was that we were playing beer pong. Beer pong was a very big thing back in our time of our youth.
We took beer pong very seriously.
Like it was literally like the
We had the custom tables that we
Yeah.
traveled with and everything.
Tournaments.
I really don't think that us in our life thought we could achieve anything greater than beer pong, because people shoot for a lot of things, NBA. We're like, no, you guys, beer pong's going to be a serious thing later. It's still not.
Still not. Yeah.
But so we go to this party. We're having a good time. We're actually playing against girls. I had a really good vibe with some girl that I was playing with against, and Eric's just like thriving, and he's like, "This is your new girl over here. She's the best." Thriving it in. Well, next thing I know, I mean, this is a ways back now. I mean, this is years through kids, God knows what. I just remember blacking out at one point. We played far too much apparently. There was no Eric. There was no any friend. Tyler, you actually weren't there for this.
Nope.
There's nobody. But what I had impressed was what would later be my future's baby mama. And I didn't know that. She's at that party, same party. And she was unimpressed with a friend of ours that we had at the time. Apparently, that's how I came up on it because that was more of an at the time they said she's easy pickings. I'm like, I don't know, guys. I don't know what's happening. So
Easy pickings.
Easy pickings. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. So, needless to say, I didn't wake up with a wingman Eric, or I didn't wake up with anybody. I woke up with a dipshit cousin that was waiting around for me. And
But you woke up with your cousin?
no, not with my cousin. Not with my cousin. No. I woke up in a strange woman's bed, and sure enough, cousin was there, and he said, "Hey, man, he's not in the same room."
Yeah, I wanted to clarify that because
Fine, let's clarify.
I wanted to make sure you didn't wake up with
No,
your cousin
we're
and a
going.
strange
No.
woman.
I go out to this living room. I tell him, I said, "Hey, man, what the hell? Let's get out of here. I was waiting around for you." We take off, and needless to say, this one night stand, what I thought would be a one night stand, ended up turning into much more, and that's how my son came around. So when I stare into your cold dead eyes, Eric, and you have
Well, why does he have cold dead eyes?
well, because now he is dead. You know, this is the thing.
So, dead dad? What you're saying?
You know,
Dead dad eyes?
So all I say is that, Eric, I wish you the best, but at the same time, I wish you to go fuck. So for all the years you brought me, I mean, here we go, pal.
Somehow I got dragged into this, but I do remember.
You didn't, it wasn't a somehow. You got dragged into it because it's fucking history, asshole. It's not a somehow. You were fucking there.
Yeah, you can't rewrite history, right?
No, we can't.
But I do remember that night, and I do remember dominating beer pong that night.
We did.
And I remember Skyler. Skyler was getting a great response from the party, and I do remember parting ways at some point that night. You know, I remember, hey, I'm taking off, man. Best of luck to you. And then fast forward to maybe a few months later, down the road, and Skyler brought me aside to, you know, when we were having a couple beers, and brought me aside and told me, you know, what was going on.
Let's just go ahead and say that was 6 months later exactly. Because in between, I was dealing with multiple things. I had actually told son's mom at one point. Told her, I was like, I'll deal with this down the road if it's a true thing. You know, again, we were in high school. We had multiple scenarios where many people claimed things. See, you guys are different. You guys are settled down. You guys are completely different. Have kids, well knowing what's happening. Being promiscuous back in the day and stuff like that. There was multiple occasions.
Yeah, we weren't like, oh, that's not my kid type shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So being promiscuous as it was back in the day.
I do remember it being some time because I remember Skyler saying, hey, do you remember this night? You know, we were at this house over here. And I was like, well, kind of, you know, that was a long time ago.
Real quick, you're missing a part of the story that you've told me was that the woman you ended up with wasn't the original woman you were trying to get with.
No. Again, yeah. Now Eric had set me up. We played the beer pong and we had a good time. And yeah, no, I definitely did not wake up with the same person I thought it was. And that's where it came to. So again, like I said, you guys didn't deal with that back in the day. And Eric brought up a conjunction of time that went by. Well, I was going through hell and back, you know, in between then. And at some point I told Eric, I was like, hey, Eric, this is happening. And I'd only known that because I was served court papers in the mail, and God, you know, God given that, yeah, I ended up going down. I had a lot of, I had my
legal battles,
tests ran, and yeah, and that it all came down to, here we go, you know, DNA, boom,
so
we're good to go.
How old was your son?
My son at the time.
By the time you actually met him.
Is 6 months old.
I see, that to me breaks my heart.
It actually does, and I'm glad you brought that up because I still, till this day, there's a lot of people that bring me up that I wasn't in that moment when it happened, and I will be honest. I had I had texts, I had things of like, hey, this is happening, but you have to understand again, you guys were in the development of, you guys had significant others, you guys had special ones. I didn't know how much. I mean, think of the opposite effect. Think about if had my son not been my son, why am I there for this moment. You know what I mean? So you got to
Yeah.
think of it in that way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but just the overall of it is your son,
Mhm.
and
It is funny though, Sky, that you mentioned to look at it the other way. There's two sides of
there is.
looking at it.
yeah, but just the like. So I know when my daughter was born, those first 6 months, that's like a huge bonding time, and it sucks that you didn't have that with
I didn't, but you know
him.
what?
You've made up for it though
I can tell
in
you
your
that.
own right.
I can tell you this later though. I have made up for it in my own way because my son being older now, again, he's 12. There's been times I can't even tell you. Again, you guys have younger children. I could tell you that later those questions will come up. You guys won't have them because you guys are here now. But there's questions like, "Hey, Dad, like, were you there? Did you see all this?" And I tell him no. And I tell him, I said, "Son, it's a roll of the dice, pal. Like, you don't know what you're going to be given later on in life." So, and I tell him that's why I try to. My son, I know we talk about all these past things, and we talk about these times we had in high school, all this crazy madness. I did not straighten out from all this crazy madness till I was around the age of about 22. Then it started getting a little straighter for me, and that's only because I found out that I had him 6 months later after he was born. I thought to myself, I could either go AWOL and do whatever I fucking please, or I could become a really good dad and I can do the best damn my. People write their life stories of like, oh, hey, you think in your head in high school, you think, I'll have a family when I'm like in my late 30s. I'll have this, I'll have that. I'll be married, I'll have a house. Doesn't always go as planned. I thought the same thing. When I'm 30, I'm gonna have a kid. I'll be married, have a house. Didn't happen at all. I'm actually happy that my son came around when he did because it changed me for the better. Changed my whole life, honestly. It made me a very responsible.
Yeah, I think he came around right when you needed him to. Sometimes, like you said, you can't plan these things out. You don't know.
Whether you're religious or whatever, and if you're not, it's almost like it happened for a reason. Like he saved you because you were almost leading yourself down a path that probably had no return.
I was definitely on that path already.
Yeah.
And we give Skylar a hard time. We have a lot of funny stories about high school and this and that. But Skylar's a great dad, and I've seen him and his son grow together the last several years, and it's been fun to watch.
And there's definitely no denying that he's yours.
Looks exactly like
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly like
you. DNA is strong.
you. It is wrong. But yeah, no, definitely. I've seen you as a dad for a long time now, and definitely a great dad. And that's kind of part of the reason why we brought you on this podcast is to share that story. And because Eric and I can sit and talk about our stories all we want, but you have a different perspective, and probably a perspective that a lot of other people share. So it helps relate better.
Yeah, Skylar's at a different stage as far as age of the kids, and he's got stepkids as well too, which that's a whole different experience too.
I'm glad you guys had me on because, like you said, you are so recent into coming into this life of younger kids and stuff like that. Again, my choices and my times weren't given to me like you guys. You guys have a core, and you guys are married. You guys are everything else. That it plays a really big part in your child's life at some point. I wish I would have had those upbringings, but with my own son, but sometimes it doesn't pan out that way. So, again, like I said, there's people that are dealt the hand that are given, which I was dealt a hand that I was given, and I played my best hand, and that was it. And later that you can manipulate your hand, you can do different things. Here you guys are now. You guys are both dads. You guys are having a good time. You guys are really happy with what you guys got going on. You missed a lot of the first, like, I don't want to say you guys missed it. There's a lot of steps that when it's unplanned and these things are unplanned there is some feelings there that you guys definitely missed out on. But I say missed out on, but it's also something you don't have to. But again, it's the choices in life. It's the different paths you take. Not the paths got dealt a different one. So I, unfortunately, out of a lot of our friends and a lot of our group, I got hit with that a lot younger. We don't have a lot of friends that got hit with that younger. I got hit with it when I was much younger.
And not only did you have to go through the whole experience of your son, was that I have a lot of respect for really good stepdads, because now you're also accepted into your life, kids that aren't your blood. You treat them as your blood.
Yeah, I know. I definitely do. I really don't want to get into that story, but yeah, there's I do have two stepchildren, and in some ways they don't have the best figures to look upon in different ways, but I try to do my damnedest. That I would call them my blood easily. So you always think of that. There's that age old question of hey, I take a bullet for somebody. You know what I mean? I would easily take a bullet for any of those children. I really would. They are just as much blood as mine as my own. And, it's a big thing later on. And again, you guys have your children right now. They are your blood. You guys all have your children. You have too many, Eric. You have too
I'm working on slowing down.
many. You really should.
I don't know, man.
There's a time. There's a time to be horny, and there's a time to be safe.
Your old lady keeps talking about more, and it's terrifying me, and I'm not even in the situation.
I'm trying to navigate right now. We have another one. We'll almost have a full basketball team. So I'm just maybe saying let's pace ourselves or slow it down a little bit.
Might as well just shoot for the basketball team, man. Partridge family it up.
Eric, you said navigate, like you're navigating towards that. There's a difference between going out to sea and being docked. You need to fucking dock yourself. You need to knock your shit off.
You need to throw the anchor down on the
Yeah,
boat.
You need to be the spokesman for Trojan. You know what I mean? Just this is what can happen if you don't use us.
I mean, we are actively seeking endorsements.
As you should, yeah.
I'd be a pretty good spokesperson. I mean,
Yeah, you had 3 under 2 at one point, and that's
either that or, like Tyler said, he'll grab the gardening shears and do it.
So, mind you, I came on today with this. I have not seen Eric prior to him having any children. He didn't have any the last time I saw him at all. Tyler, you still have your one.
Yep.
But yeah, the last time. So now coming into it, now Eric, you have 3 kids, right?
Yep. So it
So-
all happened pretty quickly.
Yeah. No, you have a lot, man.
Went
So,
from
again,
0 to 100 really quick.
Again, like I said, why don't you dock that dick and how about you not pull that shit out no more? Why don't you duck it in between?
put it duct tape that bad boy up and move on.
Reals. Duck it back in your asshole. Go way back.
Ain't holster it, all right?
Anytime the old lady's feeling it, dude, put that bad boy in the mangina position and have at it.
Oh, I mean, that's why he would be a great spokesman for Trojan, Durex. Because I mean, you still got to get yours.
Our chastity belt still thing, you'd be a good spokesman for that too.
Like old school medieval endorsements.
Robin Hood men in tights,
Can we
metal,
get a-
metal undergarments.
Can we get a medieval times sponsorship? Maybe enjoy some good
Hey, I love me some
dinner and
medieval
show.
times.
good dinner and
I'm not
show.
gonna lie, dude. The last time I was in Middle Times, I got fucked up and I had a great.
Oh yeah.
Have you been to the one next door to it where it's like a pirate theme?
That's the one I'm planning on. Hopefully, that's a future trip.
I've always wanted to go to that one because it's like I guess they have like a big boat instead of the jousting and stuff, and they do
Yeah,
like
me.
crazy like pirate.
Don't hype
stuff.
everybody up on it. It might just be a dirt arena.
Might, dude. I don't know. I've never been.
I don't
Probably
know
been
either.
bulldozed by now. I don't know.
Who knows?
I got shut down.
I wonder how you apply for those gigs. Like, hey, I graduated high school. I want to be the guy at Medieval Times.
Oh,
One of the warrior, one of the knights.
I would just imagine you have
I
to
think
be
they're
like
just
a.
actors.
I think
mean,
you just
it
have to
is
be an
LA.
actor. Yeah.
You got to know how to ride a horse.
Well, you know that we went to school with some guys that they're actors now.
Ooh.
Oh wait, we can't.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah,
we'll
no,
talk about
I'm just
after,
saying that we
but-
have people that do we have people that do acting, and I'll be honest, they live a different lifestyle than what us three would probably be used to. That's cool, but they get gigs left and right, man. I'll be honest, I
Clarify actual acting or like
actual acting.
adult.
adult
acting.
entertainment.
Oh, adult entertainment acting.
There's a few of those out there too.
Yeah, no, there's that too, but I feel like that also involves.
I'm pretty sure we went to school with
Hmm.
a certain female that was like the main ad.
Was it a
On-
main ad?
Yes.
I don't know. I haven't seen her on Brazzers anytime, but yeah.
But this was
Um,
like, I don't know, 15 years ago.
Oh, I'm just saying I keep up to date with my porno.
Uh, okay.
Yeah.
You have it. New,
Each their own.
new
Yeah.
sponsorship. Porno, we're available.
Brazzers?
Any of y'all listen out there.
So I do want to transition, kind of back to more.
It's because I don't know where this is
some
going.
some stories.
Oh,
I do have one story that I know that is a favorite of mine. The way
I
you,
don't know if I like this.
the way
This is
you
going-
tell it.
Actually, out of beer.
And this was actually a requested story that I bring up for you to tell.
Who requested?
So, we were already older, well out of high school, all that stuff. It was a mutual friend of ours' birthday, and you went downtown to meet said friend, and I couldn't go. Next thing you know, you eventually tell me this story that involves vampires.
Oh, you're talking about Braun.
Talking about the vampire
yeah.
story.
Okay. You know what? Again, so I had, and maybe, I don't know if anybody can relate with this. Sometimes, you will watch a show. Let's say you watch a show, HBO Max, whatever, and you drown yourself in it. You really do.
I just assumed from what you experienced, you were living True Blood.
No, not
Or
True
something
Blood.
like
Not True
that.
Blood. Fuck True Blood. No, what I was watching was a show at the time. I was drowning myself in it. It was called Penny Dreadful.
Oh, okay.
Good time. It had Josh Hartnett in it. A lot of people don't see him anymore. But honestly, he's a great actor.
Last time I
Keeps
saw him,
playing in vampire things.
was 40 Days and 40 Nights?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was him.
one. Or what is it? Yeah, the one with the vampires in the Antarctica. But anyway,
30 Days.
so needless to say, yeah. I did go out with Brock one night, and we went out and we had a good time. We started out the normal bars. We went to our downtown area for a city, and we did have a good time. And next thing you know, we met some what would you say? We met
I want to say you met this older gentleman in a
So-
bathroom.
No.
That's what I thought.
No, not a bathroom. No, we met these characters, these characters that were very interesting. Had again, I don't know how to describe it. Maybe I'm bad at describing this. All these crazy women with them. They had a good time. They were not the most atrocious dudes you can imagine, but
Can you give us a scope? Are these guys younger guys?
no,
You know,
older,
middle-aged.
middle aged.
Were they like-
we're talking like 40s, late 40s.
Were
50s.
they like well dressed, look like they had money?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Lawyers. You can go lawyers.
Like that type of look?
within it. Yeah. Definitely had that look. So anyway, yeah, we went back to. We got invited to a private party at a distinct location in our town, and I hadn't even heard of this place before. And
I think that was the point. You weren't supposed to have known
yeah, and
this
I was
place.
like, what's happening? Like these guys have all these like really banging girls around, and I don't know what's going on. So we took off with these people. Again, probably not the best thing you do with strangers. Take off with them. We go there. We're just having a good time, and yeah. Needless to say, I don't remember all the details of this story. But there was a moment where I'd been watching again Too Much Penny Dreadful, and I had thought, you know what, these fucking old bastards, are vampires, and the women that were there were too pretty to be around these people. Really understand.
Something was off about the situation.
Something was off. We were in a private location. There was a private bartender.
Am I mistaken? But you found open door with.
Yeah,
Like-
no,
like-
there was a secret room.
Yes.
Within this establishment.
They were, like,
near the
monitoring
restrooms.
you,
Yeah,
right?
and there was like a monitor. It was like kind of like a security room, if you'd imagine that of a
Oh.
movie.
So it was just. Was there a door, or is this like an oversized glory hole?
No. What glory hole? What that? Eric, my God, I don't know.
That
what
is
type-
near the restrooms.
Why would it be oversized?
Why would it be a glory hole, Eric? What's wrong with you? You got too many dicks sticking through peepholes here. Anyway, no, it wasn't glory hole. But anyway, think of it like I don't know. secret passage. Like I go to the bathroom. At one point, I tell our friend that we were with, and I say, "Hey, man, I'm gonna go to the restroom, whatever." I walk off, and I did go to the restroom, whatever. I took a leak real quick, and out of the side of me, I'm like, "What the hell?" I see one of the women go into a monitoring area that is disguised as a wall. And it was very strange to me. And I was like, what the hell? So I peek in there. She's like, what are you doing in here? Blah, blah, you got to get out of here. Okay, cool. Didn't know, again, don't know this woman. Don't know if this is the wife of this old weirdo, whatever. And so I don't know. I don't know where it went from there. But again, watching too much vampire shit versus how much you've been drinking, I ultimately thought that these people were just fucking like flamboyant, crazy vampires. And
So do you?
I had taken our friend outside at one point when he called an Uber, and I was like, "Hey man, get the fuck out of here. They get real nasty." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Not." I was ready to break off table legs and start stabbing people in the chest because I thought that at that time we had went to some association of vampiric night stuff, and it was all bad. Don't laugh. Take your breath.
I feel like,
but
I feel
again,
like you just managed to get yourself into some sticky situations.
I you know what, and it's not too far fetched from the high school person I was, because there are moments in time of my life. I'm a dad now. There's not a lot of these moments that happen. I might have a kid that shits in the toilet, and no one wants to tell me who clogged the toilet. Okay? That's my sticky situation over here, because no one else knows that I clog a goddamn toilet. But I will tell you, there was a lot of sticky situations back then and in my younger days. Not predominantly great, but the imagination soars, my friend.
Yeah, in my mind, the way I picture it is just you're paranoid, saying these fucking old guys, they're a bunch of vampires, and they lured Brock and I here to kill us.
Seriously, have you seen the Josh Hartnett movie? I think it's
30 Days of
Night. 30 Days of Night.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
They looked just like the same people. Same exact people. I know we're not promoting Josh Hartnett.
It sounds like you have a man crush, but that's just me.
Have you watched 40 Days and 40 Nights?
He's got
That's
some
a
good
fucking
movies.
man crush.
He's got some good movies.
Fuck the Notebook. Man crush.
Was he in the Notebook?
No.
Wait, what? Then where are you going with this?
Eric, between you and glory holes and Notebook.
Notebook?
Hey, I didn't bring Notebook into this.
Yeah, nobody brought Notebook. You did.
I did bring that, but then he brought the glory holes and the other stuff. Eric, I think you need to get out more.
I do. I've been stuck inside a lot lately. You know?
He just goes to the bathroom at work,
I need to
hoping
find
there's a
the
glory
balance.
hole.
I need to find the balance of getting out more, but not getting out too much.
I don't think you know that balance yet, friend.
Oh no, I do. I've learned.
I don't know, pal.
I've learned.
Should hang out with me more.
You
Tell
got
you that
your
balance.
sweet backyard all set up. That's getting out.
Hey, yeah, I got a little backyard set up. Good time. Got to come and swing on our swings or get in our playground.
Oh, you have a playground.
But yeah.
Again, for little children.
Depends on how drunk you are. It can be for adults.
It'd be adult friendly.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
It looks pretty well built. He put it together.
Good. I have a
So
pool.
you can either
I have a
trust
pool.
it
You
or
can
not
either-
trust it.
yeah, it
Either-
took about a team of
Listen.
5 people working all day to put it together.
Just saying, I have a pool. You could figure out if you want to keep going and being a dad, or if you just want to drown yourself.
You know, a pool is a great way to figure your thoughts out.
It is. It is.
Just
You
to sit there on a floaty,
Yeah, face
with a
down
nice
in the
little buzz-
water.
Yeah, nice little buzz going,
get- Dude, yeah.
or face down.
Good time.
That's when you can really clear your head, is when you're face down, drunk in a pool. Trust
Man,
me,
you
I've been
just-
there.
Just got to float at the bottom and have.
Yeah, or play that game where you see how long you can hold your breath, you know, and you get some moments of clarity.
Maybe we'll do the we'll do an episode over there at some point.
Hey, some pool time is good for the soul.
It is.
Do an on location episode,
We
sitting in the
could,
pool.
we could. You guys, I'm seriously. We
I
could do
think, I
that.
think we can get some floaties for these mics. I think it'd work out
Yeah.
pretty good. Maybe set up a little floating beer pong table.
Floating,
Oh,
floating
no, let's
ice
not do
chest.
that.
Just do it all up.
I actually have those right.
Bringing back the beer pong though, me and Skyler were like a force be reckoned with. We were a really good beer pong team.
We'll tell you again, as a generational gap, I think that beer pong was was a crazy mess when we grew up. It literally came into when we were growing up.
Yeah, no, it was like perfect timing.
It was madness.
We
It
had
got
some-
really serious.
Some
Like, it
really
got
insane
serious.
tournaments where you'd have to dress up with your teammate and
Yeah, no, my favorite moment ever. I didn't even know it was a thing because now people play beer pong and they think, oh yeah, like the fucking, you shooting the pong and you have the water cup, right? You have the water
Oh
cup.
yeah, so that way it doesn't your beer doesn't get all
Right?
dirty.
No, I'm surprised I don't have like all kinds of diseases because we were shooting them into lukewarm beer and drinking it no matter where that pong was, and then recycling
Dude, it
that
would fall
through
on the
multiple
ground.
people, and I was like, "What?" And then I remember going to a party at one point, way down the line. This again, God, we were shit high school bastards. But it was at some point in the line, and they're like, "You're an idiot, man. Why would you pour beer in those? We're just putting water in them all."
someone
Fucking-
figured it out.
That's
Yeah.
the
And then
fucking
you,
greatest idea
every
I've
time
ever
you
heard
make
of.
a cup, you just take a drink of the beer or whatever you
Yeah.
have in your hand.
I can remember the first time I went to a party where they were doing that, and I just looked back at myself and like, man, I'm a savage. What have I been doing this whole time?
Yeah,
The first thing I thought
Gross.
was
you're a gross savage.
you guys are pussies. Like I drank the beer that rolled into the bathroom.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
a
everyone,
pong ball that rolled off into the bathroom. You dipped it back in.
It had fucking pubes on it and shit.
well,
and
yeah, you think about
dunked
it,
right
too,
back
you
into
know,
the
like
beer.
there's that rule where you finger the ball out, and
Oh yeah, people.
who knows how many pisses that guy took that night.
He knows that you have in your
Dude,
fingers.
It's not even that one. It's the blowing one too. You know, where you blow the ball out, man. I don't know
Oh,
what
yeah.
the fuck was just in your mouth.
It's definitely not
Yeah,
sanitary.
No, I didn't do the blow thing. No,
You didn't blow?
no blowing.
didn't blow in high
That's
school?
for old glory boy over
I
here.
did think it was pretty funny though, where like sometimes you and your posse rolled up to another house and you're playing beer pong and they just call some crazy rule you've never heard of and they're like, oh yeah, house rules, man.
It's just because you're winning, they have to
Yeah.
all of a sudden make up some
Oh,
house
okay.
rule.
Sounds a little odd, but it's your house. I'm gonna respect your rules, but
It was a different time, man. I'd actually like to, it's funny, becoming an adult, like later on, getting out of that, right? So you don't play it anymore. But then I go to places like, I've been to Vegas with a wife and stuff like that, and still doing these tournaments of beer pong. And I'm like, how would that be in a professional sense? Like, how would that go? And I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it because it'd be fucking horrible.
It needs to be, make it a competition. You need to treat it like Balls of Fury. Remember that movie?
Oh,
Where
Balls
if
of
you
Fury
lose,
movie.
you die.
like that. Like that. Let's get all blood sport into it. I like
Yeah.
sports where the other opponent just dies.
Christopher Walken is the boss.
People get really, really up in the UFC type stuff, and I'm like, no, dude. Just,
Nah. Murder
whatever.
Pong.
Yeah.
Murder Pong. Where's
Why,
that?
why do we have to keep watching a whole bunch of fucking fights with McGregor when I'm like, just kill McGregor the second time he loses?
Yeah, just make it
Why
blood
not?
sport. Yeah.
almost like bring back old
Go.
Roman times.
Why don't we just turn the UFC
Yeah,
into Mortal
Gladiator.
Kombat? Just change the name to
Yeah, I
Mortal
like
Kombat.
that. I like that.
Yeah. I would watch that.
Fight for Earthrealm.
Yeah, I don't watch. I mean, I used to when the UFC was like new and it was like 10 fighters. But now you can't even keep track. So let's turn it into Mortal Kombat. Get it back down to 10.
You
Yeah.
deserve a
I'd
medal
agree with that.
if you've lived through many tournaments.
Dude, I would watch the shit out of that. You know? I just want to get over here within the octagon.
I like that.
It'd be crazy. Put a bunch of people like Hunger Games them. Put them on an island. Let them survive. You guys get rid of the homeless population. We just put them on an island. Recorded the whole thing.
That's like putting everyone on Survivor,
Dude.
Inner city.
Hardcore Survivor.
homeless edition.
Put them in Detroit.
I would watch that.
Dude, I would watch everything.
I'm a huge Survivor fan, but I would definitely watch.
yeah, no.
I would definitely watch homeless people getting put on Survivor.
Dude, yeah. Do
See what happens.
Yeah, dude. Like, I bet they would win. And I want to do homeless people versus like normal people. They would win every time, I think. The homeless person would destroy them.
Well, yeah, they're used to the elements.
Dude, yeah, I don't know how they do it, and I couldn't do it. And it's like a crazy hot or super cold. There's no way.
It's actually a funny story.
You guys want to do this?
Yeah.
Ready at the same time? 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was
A lot of those times we'd
There we
actually
go.
chug it or shotgun it back in the time.
As I was saying though, there is a funny story where there in our town there just seemed to be a lot of homeless people showing up out of nowhere. And I talked to one of my friends that's a BPD officer, and like, yeah, no, there's a confirmed thing that another city was busing homeless people into our city.
yeah.
Their solution to getting rid of homeless people
Upon
was
them
to
off.
give them a bus pass and send them on their way.
That's because they have
what?
no other idea of what to actually do.
I will be honest. So you guys like right now, we live in all aspects of town. All three of us do. I live in the I don't know.
You
It's
live on
like
the east side, bro.
it's medium. I live on the medium over
You
there.
live on the east side.
But I will tell you, between the north side of our town and the east side of our town, there is a great deal. You guys don't get a lot out here. A bit.
Okay, but I did before I lived where I live now. I lived downtown.
Oh no, I remember.
And that was
Yeah.
it's
The
like a zombie
epicenter.
apocalypse down
Oh yeah,
there.
no. So
It's the epicenter.
so again, there's like a lot of stuff going on over there. I think that's a legit thing. There are there are homeless people that I always ask them. I'm like, hey man, like where you from? You know, what happened? Like what's going on? Sometimes they tell me some outward ass city. They will either say like Los Angeles. They will say different spots, and I'm like, dude, like really? Like, they pitched you over here? I can look at different things they have, and well, that stuff is pretty new, man. I don't know. I would only assume that you're getting like a cash payout. I actually
From a
have.
relocation.
Oh yeah. No, and there's. I'm gonna put this guy on blast right now. I mean, granted, it's not a guy. Really like his name. On the east side, where I live at, there is a guy, homeless man, breakfast almost 2 days a week.
Do you make him breakfast or buy him breakfast?
No, buy him. If I'm taking the kids to school,
It's a legitimate question. I was
no,
curious.
no, and I give it to him. You know what this guy looks like? He looks like a retired Patrick Swayze from Point Break. He has no shirt on all the time, and he has slick back like crazy, like long hair. That's all we call him, and it's funny because I call him the Point Break bum, right? This is what I call him. I call him the Point Break bum, and I always like say hi to him in the morning. Doing my kids' sports, I have talked to other parents. He's gotten brought up 4 times in my kids' sports, and I am not the only one that calls him the Point. There are multiple people that call him.
Do you think you started that and it caught
Nope,
on? Or
no, I don't
other
think I did.
people
I think that's just what people relate to it. You look at this guy and you're like, Patrick Swayze.
to take a picture of him. We'll put it on Instagram. Everyone can see.
Have
He's
you
a good
have
guy.
you looked into what Patrick Swayze's doing these days? Could it be Patrick Swayze?
Patrick Swayze is
dead.
R.I.p. Patrick
Yeah,
Swayze's
he's dead. He's
passed
dead.
away a
Eric.
few
I guess
years
I'm
back.
I guess I'm
Good
late.
job.
Late to the party.
Wow, Eric. Oh my god.
He is now.
If Patrick Swayze's
Actually-
family is listening, I'm sorry.
He is
Eric, why?
He is actually ghost now. So
We can edit that part out.
I did love you, Patrick
No,
Swayze. If you're
we
listening.
can't do that. There was a part where we honored it and then you'd shit on it. Shit on it, Eric.
Hey, I love Patrick Swayze.
I wanted to
more than the next man.
to reincarnate him as this bum, and what did you do? You're like, he's still here.
I will rewatch.
He could have faked his death.
Oh my
Conspiracy theory just born on this show right now is
no.
Patrick Swayze is still alive.
He's not though.
Just
He's not at
because you
all.
desecrated Patrick Swayze, you have to dirty dance by yourself.
Yeah, definitely have to do something after this.
You have to let me ghost you. I'll come reach around and do the old work in the
We'll go make
clay.
a glory hole and see where you go from there. We'll see if you take into it.
I mean, yeah, we could do that. I want to be opposed.
I can't believe.
Why?
Maybe he's out there somewhere.
Oh,
Hey, could have been one of those Tupac situations, you know, fake your own death, show up. Later.
Is that confirmed by you? Tupac is alive?
Tupac or Patrick Swayze?
Tupac.
You know, I'm a believer that I believe he's dead.
I don't know. I've heard people
Everyone has
say,
their own opinion.
I've heard people say that
Supposedly
Elvis,
he's in Cuba.
No, if we're
Elvis used to
hold
work
on,
at
wait.
donut shop.
If we're gonna talk about celebrity deaths, so that like that way you're up to speed, Eric. You know, Ray Liotta, he died.
He just passed away.
Yeah, no, I did
Okay,
read that.
okay. I'm just saying, man, that was a guy that I didn't know that guy, but I kid you not, every time I've been to Vegas multiple times. Every single time I went to Vegas, his movie was on Goodfellas. Every single time, far too many times.
It's a great movie, honestly. There's a few celebrity deaths.
I just didn't want to
Not
bring up.
every
I didn't want to
celebrity
bring up another bum, and you'd be like, "Hey, Leota's alive." No, he just died like this week. So I didn't want to have that happen again.
So before we bring up
Not
any
good.
celebrity, I think just for Eric's sake, we should start saying whether they're alive or if they're passed away.
that actually might be a thing.
Yeah, anytime a celebrity comes up, we have to have a kind of confirmation around the table whether they're still with us.
When's the
or
last
not.
time you watched a Robin Williams movie? He's dead.
I just saw Robin Williams the other day walking around. No, he's gone, man. Legend lost. Way
I don't
too
know where
early.
you've been. I mean, I believe me, I get it, man. You got kids and stuff.
Yeah, this is what happens
When you don't
have
get out.
children, is you don't pay attention to the news and
Hey,
what's going
Hey,
on.
I do want to know. You don't have an excuse because your oldest kid's 2,
Correct.
and Patrick
it up.
Swayze passed away. What, probably 15 years ago?
Yeah, now it's been a while. It's been a while.
Can we get confirmation on when this happened?
I'm looking it up. Let me look it up.
I mean,
Okay, I'm just saying, man. You gotta be up to date.
Yeah, you got to be up
Well-
to date, man. He passed away in 2009. Okay,
well,
2009.
as you can see, I just decided to start,
That
coming out of the
was-
rock that I've been living under. So,
Yeah, I don't know, man.
my
No,
condolences to the Swayze family.
13 years ago. 13 years ago.
that was long before you had kids, so you're kind of just a piece.
And apparently he was sexiest man alive in 1991.
He's a good-looking man. I don't know. I just watched the whole thing on Val Kilmer back. That's another fucking great one.
I know we got to wrap up here
Didn't know that
soon.
either. Did you?
I know.
I really didn't.
know.
I know we
didn't.
have to wrap up here soon, but speaking of
Okay.
Val Kilmer
Okay.
and it being Father's Day, did you have a chance to see Top Gun?
Haven't seen Top Gun yet. No.
The new Top
I
Gun Maverick?
do want to.
Haven't.
Did you?
Saw it.
Good? No good?
Really good.
Oh,
They do a lot of callbacks, and they kind of sequence of the movie is very similar to the first one, where it's like he does this and then this and then this happens, but very good. I enjoyed watching it.
I will give it to Tom Cruise. He's a complete psychopath, but he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's very meticulous about everything.
I didn't actually know. Dude, I've been reading up. I did not know that guy does half his own stunts for his age. That's
Dude,
impressive.
Wait, we just brought up a celebrity name. Can we confirm? Is Tom
Tom-
still with
Tom
us?
is still with
is-
us.
Tom
You're still with
is
us, Eric.
alive.
You're just out there.
Interesting with the Top Gun movie is, before you watch it, they do like a quick, like a, what do you call it, like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And the actors, when they're actually in F-18s,
Yeah.
they have their own cameras and they have to adjust and do all their own camera work while flying in the jet while acting.
Yeah.
So all those jet scenes you see in the movie are real from an actual
Impressive,
F-18.
and they're not dead, Eric. So
None of those actors are dead that I know of.
Good to know. Good to know.
no, nobody's dead.
And Miles Teller does a really good job in that movie,
Good.
playing Goose's
Good.
son.
Yeah, recent. I'm glad we got to that point. We went from talking about whatever. We got to recent movies.
We went to from homeless people to movies.
Eric,
That's- That's what we do here on Our Wives Are Friends, is that we'll go from one topic and we will crank that bitch hard left.
I believe
Listen, man.
homeless people came up on our last episode.
It always seems to come up at least once an episode. Anyway, so I'm glad that you came on, Skyler, and
I'm
talked about
you guys had me.
Father's Day.
Glad you had me.
And talked about who you are as a dad and a little bit about you, because I don't think this is the last time that we're gonna have you on.
Hope not.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we plan on having Skyler on quite a few times here, and we hope everyone has a safe Father's Day out there and enjoy time with your kids, or Skyler's case, maybe without kids.
Yeah, maybe without. But you know what? Chances are I'm probably gonna have them all.
Is there something that you asked for Father's Day, like other than peace and quiet? Maybe like like a new Home Depot gift card or something. I don't know.
No, it's usually sexual favors from the wife.
Yeah. I mean, at least you're honest, man. That's
Hey, honesty is the best policy.
Like whatever weird stuff we can get into.
yeah. We're not getting into that.
Nah, we don't need to.
I know some. But yeah, no, this has been an awesome episode, and I want to say Happy Father's Day to all those fathers out there listening. A father, stepfather, whatever you are, you're still a father. So
100%.
If I can chime in on that real quick, I know you're exiting on that. Again, to be a father, it's not fucking hard. It's really not. You two have younger children. You have wives. You guys are having a good time. I will tell you this: jumping into a critical moment when you have stepchildren, when you have your regular children, not hard to be a dad.
you just gotta be there.
You have to get your mindset straight, and you have to jump into it. Like you can't keep concentrating on your own personal bullshit. You have to be like, hey, can I make a difference in this person's life? You have to put someone else's life before your own. That's literally all it takes to be a father.
Change priorities. Eric
Yeah.
and I have talked about that before. Is that you have to readjust your priorities from being selfish to caring about someone else.
And the little things matter.
and I-
Just the littlest, things that you don't really think about, they might think the world of it.
And I can't tell you how many people, whether it be the world, whatever, some people do not understand that. They don't get it. They're very self-absorbed. If you've having a child and you've went that route in life, you need to be responsible to take care of that person. That's a person that came out of you. You need to be responsible. Same thing when you have, bad comparison. Same thing when you have a fucking dog or anything like that. You're responsible for your animal, for your caretaking of anything, animals, the people in your household, stuff like that. That's, again, doesn't take a lot of fucking effort. Yeah. We'll end on that again.
Yeah, we'll end on that note. It doesn't take a ton of effort to be a really good dad. You just have to be there. So, yeah, thank you again for everybody for listening to our wives or friends.
Just a reminder, we are all on all applications.
Yeah, we're available on everywhere you get your podcasts. And if you have any questions, shout outs, you want to ask us stuff, or you want us to maybe bring something up in a future podcast, we're on at Our Wives Are Friends on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
And feel free to leave us a 5-star review if you feel so generous to.
Also, if any new celebrity deaths are around, you could please inform Eric.
Yeah, please send that to one of our social medias, and let Eric know that they have kindly passed away. But yeah, thanks again, everybody, for listening.
Till next time.
Next time.